Hey, I'm Rich Groves. We're going to be talking about the Gateway to Freedom Real Estate Investing Conference being held right here in St. Louis, October 17th, 18th, and 19th this year. I'm a real estate investor in the St. Louis area who did his first investment property in 2005, and I've been doing them ever since. I host a couple of real estate meetups, connecting real estate investors to incredible people, and that is what Gateway to Freedom is all about, connecting real estate investors or aspiring real estate investors to folks who know what they're doing and having a ton of success doing that. If you're stuck in your 9 to 5 that you absolutely hate, or you're finding yourself feeling like you're running in place at your current situation, whether that's at your job or as a real estate investor and you want to take it to the next level, this conference is going to help you out. But let me first introduce you to my co-host, Josh. Hey, Josh.
Hey, Rich. Yeah. So I'm Josh Wiesler. I'm a small business coach, and I've been in the investing world for, like 17 years, full-time. And I started in investing full-time 7 years ago. And investing for me, I started wholesaling, rehabbed, I've flipped. I've done creative deals. I've done commercial. I've done multifamily. I've done like private lending. I've done pretty much the gambit. And for me with this conference, it's the catalyst of other people's dreams. And that's why for me as a small business coach, I love having been involved with this event with Rich. This is his dream. And for me as a business coach, I love catalyzing people's business dreams and visions. And that's why this event is so important for me as well. Because whether you're new, whether you're in the business, whether you're established, there's always going to be another vision. And so that's why we love this event and why we are so passionate to bring on people like our next guest, because we're all about building it with the people that you love doing things with and building teams and relationships. And so with that, I'll let Rich introduce her.
Yeah, absolutely. And this conference, let me mention, this conference is not a magic bullet. You don't just show up and then bam, now you're a successful real estate investor. It's going to take hard work and dedication and commitment to learning from people like our guest here today, Kellie Rhymes. Kellie, how you doing today?
Hi, I'm fine. Thank you guys for inviting me today.
Sure. Now, Kellie's been a real estate investor for over 18 years. She specializes in midterm rentals and business coaching. And I was extremely happy to have met you, Kellie, and talk to you and get to know you more. I know you were a guest speaker on one of my monthly RIAs. And so I'm just glad that you're a part of this conference and one of our speakers, and your smiling face does not get old. So thank you for being here.
Thank you guys again for inviting me.
Yeah. Is there anything that you want to let the audience know as well outside of the quick bullet points we gave them?
Well, I think you said it all, but I'm known as Miss Kellie Michelle on social media. So if you guys ever are looking for me instead of Kellie Rhymes, look for Miss Kellie Michelle.
That's good to know. That is awesome. Heck yeah. So let me kick this off real quick. What made you think, you know what, that real estate investing thing? Yeah, I'm going to give that a shot. That's what I want to do.
Well, I was in my 20s when I started investing in real estate. So, of course, I was bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and I was working in corporate America, and I was like, I don't like being in here. I don't like being behind these walls. I want to get outside.
Oh, so true. Nice.
And I had always had an interest in real estate, but I didn't know much about real estate investing at that point. So I went to a investment meeting. Actually, it was I think it was like a Rich Dad, Poor Dad kind of situation. You know, those big events they used to throw, and they probably, I'm sure, still throw them. And I was just like, wow, I see all these people are like, you can do this with real estate investing, you can do that. And I'm like, I think I can do this. So myself and a group of people, we were all in our 20s, so we didn't have a lot of money. We pooled our money together. Nice. And we bought into like one of their smaller package programs type of situations, right? Like we can only do so much.
Yeah.
And from there, I just kind of continued. I kind of dabbled in different parts of real estate investing. So I started off realistically as a landlord. So at that time that I'm speaking about, where, you know, I went to that event, I was already renting a property out. I had a 2-family building. So I was living on one side, renting out the other side. So I was house hacking.
House hacking.
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah.
So I started with one, and then I bought another one and did the same thing, moved out the first one, rented those 2 units out, stayed in the second one, and continued to house hack. Then I got into short sales and learned about that. So over the years, I have dabbled.
Progression and evolution.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely.
And I say to all new real estate investors, figure out what you like first. Like, I know there's a lot of different ways to invest in real estate, but you have to kind of take a look at everything and see what fits your personality.
Yeah.
I dabbled in a lot of different things, and some of them did not fit my personality. For example, rehabbing. I don't like to rehab. I've done it. I dabbled in it. I just, every time I do it, I'm like, I don't like it. So I just know that that's not for me. And I need to stick to more of the landlord side, which led me to midterm rentals, short-term rentals, long-term rentals. That is the area I play in.
And Kelly, you hit on a number of things just right there that, like, bringing back to our conference, one of the things you said, like, you really started at an event like we're holding. You said it was a Rich Dad Poor Dad event, the Robert Kiyosaki, and actually our event manager, Mary Kane, who you'll see on our podcast later, like, she is the co-host with us. She actually used to run those. And one of the things that you talked about, which we show up differently in our event, they are mostly about selling a back-end package at the event for education purposes. We don't have a back-end event or a back-end program to sell you for Gateway to Freedom. It's about the education. And that's what you said about finding your path. For the new investors, we hone on this so well. You will have over 30 people that are going to be people like Kelly that are able to show you what is possible in any area of this real estate industry and how you can do it, and you can connect with those people at our event. That is the purpose and the passion about what we are building out here. So thank you, Kelly, for just even that quick. There's so much value for, I think, our people that are going to listen there.
Yeah, it's like a test drive. It's like one of those show up and drive events, right? You show up and there's 30 people you can test drive.
Baskin Robbins with 31 different flavors, and come and get a sample.
That's right.
So yeah.
And you'll find out, hey, this Miss Kelly Michelle really resonates with me. I want to talk to her more and stuff like that. That's what these events are all about, Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. And when you guys had the event last year, I was just an attendee. So it was great. Even though I have experience in real estate investing, it was just nice to go to an event where people were just sharing information, sharing their stories, and it wasn't a hard sell. It was just like, everybody, here's the information. Now figure out, okay, are you interested in this or that? Because you have the information, or at least the basics. Kind of now figure out what avenue do you want to go down. And I like that approach. You,
as an established investor, like, how many relationships and how many people did you meet at the event that are now in your life and in your business, right? Like us, right? So just really appreciate that understanding and acknowledgement. It's phenomenal.
So you mentioned, like Josh even recapped, you went to Rich Dad event, you signed up for their package, one of the packages, like you said, you pooled your money, and everything. But I'm sure even though you signed up with them, had them as coaches or whatever, there were probably some fears in the back of your head. What kind of fears did you face?
Well, you know what? It wasn't the fear of, can I do this? Because again, I was young, so I was like, I'm just going to do it.
You didn't know what you didn't know.
Right, I didn't know. I think the hardest thing for me, and it still is a challenge, is like the negotiating and actually approaching the homeowners who, like, these are strangers, and then talking to them about getting their house. And they have this emotional attachment to the house. And it's like, oh, how do I navigate this? That was the hardest part for me.
Okay.
Definitely.
Definitely felt that.
Now, once you face those fears, you admitted that's still kind of tough for you. But I'm sure there were other fears, like maybe they were just small fears or whatever that you had to face. But once you face those and overcome those, what kind of success did you have?
Once I actually faced my fears, I started basically making the money, right? That's the honest truth. Right?
On the other side of fear is what you're looking for.
I was like, I started getting deals closed and, started things. What really moved it for me, was when I was doing the short sales. Now, I was, again, already a landlord, but the short sales was like something totally new, kind of for a different coaching situation.
They're different animals.
Yeah, different things.
Yep.
But when I dove into it and really focused and started getting the success, and actually that made me feel good because I was actually helping people, and I could see how I was helping people. Before, it felt like I was kind of like a vulture a little bit, like I'm taking, But that time it was like, oh, I'm helping them out of this situation. They are having a hardship, and and people were like crying and in distress, and I'm like, okay. So they were relieved for me to help them. So that flipped it for me. I started closing more deals, started making more money. And then I was like, okay, I got this. You know, that gave me like a boost of confidence.
Yeah. And Kelly, you hit on something I think in an investor journey, a lot of people deal with is like making that shift from I'm doing this for me to how am I doing it for the other person? Becomes a reciprocation piece, and you're providing value and solving a solution versus just trying to solve my problem, right? And so like I can hear it in your voice, like how that shift has helped you in your business massively. So no, thank you for sharing that. Yep. And so for that, and speaking on kind of those transitions, what mistake did you make that you want new investors to avoid?
Ooh, okay. Proper education is always key.
Okay.
Proper education from the right person. Let me put that
There you
in
go.
there.
Got it.
Because everybody, you know, may not jive with you. You know, your personalities may be different. Your learning style may be different from what they're providing. So getting the right education and actually taking action on what they're telling you, because you can buy something all day long and read through it or go online and go through the whole course. But if you are not actually doing what they're telling you to do, you're never going to get anywhere. So definitely take the action. Yeah, it can be scary, but my thing is whenever there's a fear that comes up, you have to face it because that's just something you're overcoming, right? Yep. You have to grow, and that's a growing point. You have to go ahead and just step out there and do it. And then once you do it, eventually you get comfortable with it, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I think that would be it.
Fantastic. No,
that's
I
awesome.
love that. Anything to add
That's
on to
awesome.
that, Rich?
No, that's fantastic. That's great. You're right. I 100% believe that.
Love it. And so with that, with this conference, and what is an opportunity? What opportunity does a conference like Gateway to Freedom offer to people who want to learn and have that proper education about real estate?
So Gateway to Freedom basically gives you a good overview of real estate investing, because there are different investors that are doing or focusing on different areas of real estate investing. So it gives you a little taste of what's involved in real estate investing, because there are so many different avenues. So just for you to get a sample of that, get a basic understanding of different ways you can invest in real estate, I think the conference really, really does a good job at that.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, we've been asking this. The word freedom is right there in the title, right? Gateway to Freedom. And we're talking about freedom, freedom, freedom. What does freedom mean to Miss Kellie Michelle Rhymes?
Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Load it up. Get it. What do you got, Kelly?
Freedom was like my key thing when I left. I kind of did leave corporate America a long time ago, but when I was getting out of that corporate America situation, that's what I was yearning for, freedom, right? Yeah. And so I got into real estate as part of getting to that freedom. But now freedom has a different meaning for me because I'm older, more mature, and it's just giving me the ability to now work on my passion projects. So I'm still in real estate, and I don't do business coaching. I support women now with hair loss. So that's my passion project. So real estate allows me to now focus on helping those women with hair loss.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
So that's the freedom for me because I enjoy doing it. It's a passion. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
And hey, it's like when you can do something that you just enjoy doing every single day, then that's freedom to me.
Right. Fulfillment, and Kelly, you can see it, and I'm glad you're in studio, and we've got you can see it on your voice or in your face. You can see it in your voice, you are exuding it, and it's phenomenal. So I definitely appreciate that sharing that. Something I want to go back to real quick for our audience here. You had mentioned the education piece for the new and what this conference is about. One of the things I also want to make sure, because you attended last year, what we have added this year is a half day on that Thursday, which is about business scaling and business education. Okay. So not just the new investors, it's the people that, as we talked about, maybe hit a ceiling, they've hit a wall, they're not knowing how to leverage or scale. We also have our platinum ticket will help them with that and have that half day. So that experience and for the new investors and the education is phenomenal. And we have added and learned from last year, we can serve at a different level as well.
And so with you and with you being a part of that, being one of the coaches on that day, how important do you think that is for people to get a good foothold in their business, not just real estate investing, but the business piece?
The business piece, it's very important. When we're talking about scaling, that's a tricky situation in business. I don't care what business you are in, it's tricky.
Yep.
When do you scale? How fast do you scale? How slow should you scale? Like these are things you have to consider, but people don't necessarily know it. I didn't know it. And I know I've made mistakes and I will share them.
Okay. Yeah, nice.
At the conference, I have no problem being very transparent.
Yeah.
But just knowing your numbers is part of the scaling, like I said, when to scale. Those things are all important. I think that's a great topic.
You mentioned your socials are Miss Kellie Michelle, right? Is that MS or MISS? MS Kellie Michelle, and we'll have that in the show notes as well. But can anybody get a hold of you any other way, or should they just stick with the socials?
Yeah, just social media. You'll find me. Just send me a DM. That's the best way.
Okay.
To reach me.
So in order to grab your ticket today, go out to www.g2free.com. That's g2free.com. Grab your ticket, see more information. Check out Kellie over there on the website as well. Get your tickets now. But also, if you can't wait for the conference, Josh, tell them what they could do.
Yeah, so you can go to that website, definitely get your tickets immediately. But if you can't wait and you want to start priming the pump for our October event, our conference, there is a button on there that will give you a list of all of the RIAs. Hit that button. It's on the website, and we will give you a list of 15 plus different networking events in St. Louis that Rich has painstakingly put together to provide an opportunity for everyone to go out and start networking and finding people like Kellie and our other guest speakers that will be able to help you elevate your business and move through it in a more powerful way. And so outside of that, if you'd like to talk to me or Rich or any of our other speakers, our contacts and our socials will be in the footnotes. And then thank you for listening and being a part of our journey. Have a good day.